What the hell is Saw Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
Guys are from Free Love, man.
I guess not. I need to find my working. All right, there we go. I mean, we should. There we go. Testing 1 2 1 2. All right, let's get all the sound and everything going. Y'all know how it goes. Play as fuck up. Welcome to Saw Sports. If you're not familiar with Saw Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network. Means we're talking all sports. Excuse me, but only Houston. And you know, I know a lot of you guys have found this channel from, you know, the original Saw Sports. You know, this is Saw Sports TV, to let me clarify. And you know, I like talking about the Texans. We don't fucking talk about the Texans around here. All right. We don't give a shit about the goddamn Texans on Tuesdays and Thursdays, unless it's like a Thursday night football or something. We'll worry about that. But as for right now, we don't give a shit about the Texans on Tuesdays and Thursdays around this camp. But we have Mr. Saw Sports TV himself joining us. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir, to the people?
It's your boy Hector, aka Mr. Saw Sports TV. Hopefully you guys can hear me this time.
Yes. They sound good on my end. If you're in the chat, y'all let me know. Make sure the audio is good, but it sounds real good to me. So it looks like everything's registered on whatchamacallit. So let's see. Shout out to Justin Quarles, Footballer 503, Hector holding down the chat and the channel. And let's see, Houston Texans Talk. God damn it, I'm just gonna call you Talk during these streams. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, your name is just Talk. Cause we ain't talking about no goddamn Houston Texans. Shout out to Asmil, shout out to Jabari. What's the motherfucking deal?
Can we bleep? Can we bleep us? Can we bleep on this channel?
I wish we could.
Can we bleep the?
I need to finish. I said I was gonna fucking get a soundboard and start using. I definitely need to get one for some of the calls in the den, especially.
We won't bleep the cuss words. We'll just bleep out like the team that we talk about on the other channel.
Yeah. But so like I said, man, again, and I know everybody's it's been a little staticky, a little shaky on my end with some of the consistency in the sauce, but we should be good to go. If y'all may have noticed, I've started putting up like little to be announced things, just kind of placeholders for the streams. If y'all want to hit the reminder button, I know that YouTube doesn't always send out notifications, so that's why sometimes I'm kind of sketchy about scheduling everything early, and then sometimes even when you don't, you just do it that day, it still doesn't give out notifications. So but definitely gonna be on track. I shared if you are a channel member on the Sauce, or if you are in the Patreon, I shared a behind the scenes look into the Sauce Sports Studio. If y'all haven't seen that, make sure you check that out. But yeah, man, I kind of want to get into the season. Well, sports seasons. And it seems like, I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems like, teams are trying to play. It seems like a lot of leagues are centralizing a specific location and then figuring they're going to handle everything, from there. And it seems kind of to be the trend. But, we've seen places open up, shut down. We've seen people say we're going to go, we're not going to go. We've seen agreements and disagreements, I know there's been a lot of controversy with the baseball thing going on and things like that, but one sport has gotten back in action, and it may be semi-obscure to some of us, or some of us may not care. But Mr. Hector, sir, the soccer extraordinaire, would you care to kind of dive into which Houston team is actually in action now and how they're faring?
So the Houston team that currently played today was the Houston Dash. And honestly, man, as much as it kind of sucks seeing them give up a 3-1 lead to end up drawing 3-3, it's honestly, I was actually pretty impressed with. They started a little slow, but once they started grooving, I mean, they scored 3 unanswered goals right after, as soon as the game, once they got their groove. But, obviously, unfortunately, they weren't able to maintain that lead. Plus, there was a controversial that there should have been a 4th goal, which would have been Rachel Daly's 3rd goal that game. But they actually took it from her saying something about goalkeeper interference, which it wasn't. But to each is its own. But I think, honestly, for the way they played, they did very well. I didn't think that obviously there's always room for improvement, but this is a completely different team. They had a massive overhaul of players, probably the most in the NWSL this offseason. And for them to just play their first game together and to at least score 3 goals, unfortunately they did give up the last 2 goals at the end. But aside from that, I think honestly, given from what they did last year, this is honestly an improvement. Just that they need to get better discipline wise and just make sure that they maintain those leads when they do have it.
Mm-hmm. Now, who was it that they played today?
They played the Utah Royals, so it was the host team. So another thing you should probably give props for. The Dash going in, they're not used to playing in Utah, obviously, and obviously Utah has, since that's their stadium. So for them to come in guns a-blazing, already being up 3-1, it's definitely something to at least commend them for, to do well against the host team. But they still have another 3 games to go to definitely put themselves in a good situation come the knockout round.
Okay. Wink, what's the motherfucking deal? So with them ending up getting a draw, so is there any real negative impact to that, or it's kind of neutral? So how does that, them not actually securing the victory today, impact them, as in the next few games?
When it comes to the standings, they'll be given a point. So if you get a win, that will be 3 points, and obviously a draw gives them 1. So it still gives them a point in the standings. They scored 3 goals. This was actually the highest scoring game so far in this tournament. So, and honestly, the game did not disappoint. If you were looking at it as if you were just a regular soccer fan watching it, a 6-goal game is obviously not disappointing.
Okay. So it's kind of interesting. Like I said, again, I know nothing. We talked Dynamo Dash, any of this. Like I said, I get all my information from Hector. He's my soccer plug. But you said that it's a new team, and I did read that somewhere that they swapped out a lot of players. I don't know. I'm not sure if they got younger, if it was just new faces or what. But to come in, and I don't know the background of Utah, but like you said, to go to their house, a team I'm assuming is more established. Maybe it's the continuity on their roster than the Dash, because you did mention they may have the biggest overhaul in the NWSL right now. I mean, so I commend them again. Like you said, this is the first time they've played together in a tournament, and to be in a situation where they could have pulled off a win, I think that sounds promising. Because again, I mean, you don't really know how your teammates operate in certain situations until you get in those situations. You can practice all kind of shit all day, but there's just certain things that you'll never anticipate, until it happens. And so, I mean, I think that's commendable. I think it's going to be interesting.
I mean, there's that, and the fact that you're playing in Utah, so obviously it's a higher altitude place. So I mean, obviously there's things to get adjusted to when you're there, but versus Houston. So I think the team did well. Their off season, they honestly just kind of tried to upgrade every position. Their big acquisitions were actually getting 2 center backs in Oyster and Nodden, and they looked very well together. I mean, Oyster gave up a very it was a questionable handball, but I mean, they made one mistake, but aside from that, defensively they did very well. I wasn't really disappointed in most of the goals that came from it. It was just off of just a mistake. But I mean, the big thing was to definitely improve this attack, and I think they did a really good job with giving Rachel Daly some weapons out there with Stengel, who was really big in this game, and as well as Shea Groom. So I mean, they did a good job out there. I think Rachel Daly is gonna keep eating. I think she's gonna be scoring a lot of goals in this tournament. And I mean, all eyes are gonna be on Rachel Daly, especially this is gonna be her time as the captain of the Houston Dash.
So, looking at the Dash, and again, I know, as you said, you're kind of, paying a little bit more attention to them too. Like, they may, again, with them being relatively new, again, overhauled roster and everything, I'm pretty sure they're probably not the favorites in this tournament. Are you familiar with what team in the NWSL is expected to come out on top? Like, who if somebody's watching the tournament, who should they be, maybe looking at, aside from the Dash?
It's the North Carolina Courage. They're coming in as one of the more consistent teams when it comes to winning it in the NWSL. So they're going to be definitely the team to beat. But you can also throw in the Washington Spirit, who has Rose Lavelle. So I mean, there's a good collect. I mean, a lot of the teams have like U.S. women's national team players in their roster, and obviously those are the girls that won the World Cup. So they know what they're doing. But I think with the Dash, I think they're going to be a very underrated team. I think they definitely did a really good job with the people that they brought in. And one of the things that I think was really interesting to bring up was that they were trying to bring in some camaraderie with these girls. And I think this is a team. I mean, like, they're working together. There's a strong sisterhood amongst these girls, and I think that's really a really good thing to have for them, especially when you're talking about this kind of tournament format for the Dash.
Okay, that's good. Like I say, I think it is like with a tournament kind of, I guess, starting off that bond. I don't think there's too many other ways that are better to build that team chemistry. Okay, put it in the chart. Okay, so when is the next Dash game?
Let me look that up real quick.
And then
it should probably be in the next few days, actually. Mm-hmm. But let me pull that up. But, if you want to go ahead and say something.
Okay. Yeah, no, because Asma was asking for the next game and then how long the tournament was. And Kendall Gray, yes, I also despise Eagles fans. I didn't really care about them that much, honestly. I used to like the Eagles when they had, who was it? Damn, I can't think of his name right now. Westbrook, when they had, it's when they had McNabb. They had a couple other guys. Of course, when T.O. was there. I used to like the Eagles a lot. I was always a T.O. fan. But when I saw the Eagles win the Super Bowl,
their next game will be on the 4th of July against Olympic Lyon Rain at 10 p.m. and it's going to be on CBS All Access. And the tournament's actually is a month long.
Okay.
I believe the final will be July 26th.
Okay.
Will be the final.
All right. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. So hopefully, like I say, they can make a splash early on in the tournament. So it's probably like the most dash conversation we've ever had, aside from an actual dash.
I think ever, ever, honestly, probably. I mean, aside from the videos, but no, I mean, obviously they're the ones currently playing right now. I mean, we'll be talking a lot more once the other, because we're now going into. We're gonna start seeing games and tournaments starting. I mean, July is literally tomorrow, so we'll be seeing some games going on.
Man, I don't know if it's just me. I'm terrible
obviously,
with dates like that. It was like I said, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm terrible with dates. Like I'll see something a few weeks out, or a couple of days out. July 7th or something. That's a long time away. And then I fucking look at the calendar, and like you said, July's fucking tomorrow. It's right here on you. I always think shit is gonna be days or a long time away. It's always like next week or next fucking couple of days. I gotta get better with keeping track of, I guess, the calendar or some shit. But what were you saying there about after the dash situation?
Oh no, I mean, I was gonna say obviously tomorrow training camp starts for baseball.
Okay. Yeah, and actually, let's get into baseball. I do want to talk about that here in just a second. But real quick question: the team that JJ's old lady plays for, Kalai Ohai. Did she take? They got married.
Kalai Ohai what?
Okay, I was gonna ask. She took the last name. So, are they? How are they faring so far in the tournament? Are you watching them at all?
So they actually played on the opening day and they lost. I would say so Khalil actually wore Watt for the back of her name on her jersey, but honestly, I mean, she was there. That's the only really thing I can highlight about Khalil's performance, because I just don't see she didn't really do much with the ball. She wasn't really much with the play. I mean, just like the Dash, they're having a brand new team. She's now in a new team, so she now has to get adjusted to them. I mean, but yeah, it wasn't necessarily. She didn't have necessarily like the best game ever, and Chicago lost.
She out there pregnant. It's a little JJ on the way. She running around out there pregnant. She don't want to tell nobody yet. It's fucked up, ass.
And she's not only J.J. Watt's wife, but she's also Brian Cushing's sister-in-law.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was the original thing before she was J.J. Watt's wife, or J.J. Watt's girlfriend was Brian Cushing's sister-in-law.
That's an awkward area to be in. And then because you're a star in your own right. I mean, you're a professional athlete in your own right, but the fact that you're more well known for being, if somebody said, hey, it's Brian Cushing's sister-in-law or J.J. Watt's wife, like, people would be more familiar, I guess, with your position than saying, hey, that's, Kalao High, Chicago soccer player. So that's weird. But real quick, one last thing about the national. Like, do you think that this will be a boost for them being kind of the first sport to kind of jump back out there and get back playing in America?
Oh, they did well for views. I mean, for the first game was on CBS. So the first game of the tournament, which was the North Carolina Courage game, that was on CBS, and I mean, it did well for a lot of people actually tuned in for it. Could it be because it was the only American sport going on? Possibly, and it probably does also help that it was on CBS. I don't know about the rest of the games because the rest of them are going to be on CBS All Access. So it's going to be through CBS's streaming service. So, I mean, it just depends who wants to pay up for that streaming service like I did. Which I'm only doing it for the month. Once the tournament's over, I'm getting rid of it anyways.
Yeah. But they're real dickheads for that. I mean, it's the only sport happening, and you're going to make people pay to watch it. I mean, that would be a good way to introduce you to the service. Give them a free month.
Get on CBS about that one. That was but the final will be on CBS. So hopefully, if the Dash are able to make it to the championship, yes, Texans talk, you cheap ass. There is a free trial.
Yeah, I'm just here for the tournament. You got a tournament trial?
Knowing Asmo, he's probably gonna make up like 10 some odd like email accounts, so that way he can keep going on the free trials.
Terrible. That's a terrible situation. Okay. Almost 20 minutes dedicated to the dash. That is a world record. But let's talk about you mentioned the
I think that's like the videos combined.
Yeah, it's a world record. Like that is definitely a Sauce Sports dash world record. If you combine all of the,
You know what though? We've gotten some pretty good views from the dash videos, honestly.
oh word,
Uh,
I did see.
yeah,
one
I
of them
was
did
like,
pretty good. The last one.
I was like really surprised by the views that we got for the dash videos. But yeah, no, yeah,
There's somebody's daughter's out there looking for videos on the dash, and they come across Sauce Sports. What the hell is Sauce Sports? They're probably, what the fuck is going on? I don't need to watch this. So the Stros, and I want to talk about the advantage, right? And this is kind of what the topic is tonight. And I guess I don't know if the Dash really had any advantage with their situation being a younger team. Maybe I guess you don't know any better. You don't know who you are until you get out there and start playing some games. And I guess the ability to play, a significant amount of games in I guess relatively short amount of time will help build that. But the Astros, and this is something we were briefly discussing right before the stream. The Astros definitely benefited. I saw somewhere where a gentleman made a quote saying that, right around the time the season was supposed to start, that it would have taken a miracle for him to be ready to go when the season started. I guess some people may say perspective matters, what some of us may call a pandemic may end up being a miracle for somebody else. So, I mean, I guess it's just about how you want to look at it. It's a fucked up way to look at it. I'm sure there's probably a couple 100,000 people out there, or that's no longer with us, who would probably look at it differently. But Verlander, what are your thoughts? And like, how big of a deal is it that Verlander's going to be back and able to go when the MLB season starts up?
Oh, it's huge for them. I mean, obviously that's your ace, that's your star pitcher. I think for sure it's important to get him as healthy as possible and to give him as much time to get that arm strong. I mean, he looks pretty solid. Like I said, he dropped a video on social media of him pitching, and he looks good. I mean, not only Verlander, but I mean Lance McCullers Jr. as well. I mean, the guy's recovering from Donald Trump. It's freaking Astro threw me off on that.
He's fucking. Les McCullers is he's recovering from Donald Trump. Okay. Oh man. Let me find out McCullers has TDS. Oh man, that's funny. That's how I think a lot of the country feels right now. There's a lot of people who aren't too keen on Trump, and so some people probably are out there recovering from Trump right now.
I got Donald Trump. Man. We're all sick and tired of Donald Trump.
Yeah, Donald Trump getting blamed for shoulders too. Hell yeah. DeMarcus, what's the motherfucking deal?
What was the thing that we used, like when people were complaining about something and they'd be like, "Thanks, Obama." Like we just started out the whole "Thanks, Trump" movement.
Yeah, oh man, I don't know what I don't even know what. I think it's too late for anything, even semi decent, involving Trump. That people are burning stuff down and doing bad stuff in the name of Trump.
Yeah, man.
So it's
Thanks,
crazy.
Trump.
Yeah, it's crazy shit. Okay, so you said McCullers and Verlander, and these guys are able to get healthy, able to get their strength back, ready to come back, and be able to contribute right away. So also with this being kind of a shortened season, and again, I don't know the full details. If you wouldn't mind kind of sharing, maybe explaining to anybody who's not familiar. But I know it's supposed to be 60 games. Like, how does that work? And do you think this shortened season with what the Astros bring to the table is that kind of a benefit for them?
So the way the season's gonna go, it's gonna be 60 games, 40 within your league, your division, and then you're gonna have 20 interleague games, which for us would be the NL West. So when you think of the NL West, obviously you're talking about the Diamondbacks, the Padres, the Giants, the Rockies, and of course the Dodgers. So we'll be seeing the Dodgers this season. That's guaranteed. As far as the Yankees goes, who knows what's gonna happen there? But yeah, for sure we're at least guaranteeing we're gonna be facing the Dodgers this season. But I think it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting just to see how things are gonna be run because obviously they're gonna be implementing some rules. There's gonna be a universal designated hitter now, so not only will the American League teams be having a designated hitter, but now the National League will be having a designated hitter. So that means that now when we go play against an NL team, now we don't have to worry about having our pitcher hit. Now it's going to be just going to be a designated hitter, which makes things easier. I think it's going to be less confusing for people that don't really understand baseball.
Yeah, I didn't know this thing.
To be able to follow. I think the other thing that they added was that when in the event of going into extra innings, the inning will start automatically with a runner on second. So basically the batter, whoever was before the batter that's going to come up at bat, he's going to just automatically be up at second base. So I mean, at that point, that changes a lot. You can either go all in and put in a base runner right there and hope we can get the win right then and there, or so strategy is going to be a little bit interesting this season. The playoff system is going to stay the way it was, so they're not going to implement no extending playoff teams. So it's going to be still the 10 playoff teams.
So how do you feel about that? I mean, with that, the new, well, I guess with extra innings, I'm about to say overtime. I mean, who's the Astros head coach? Who's coaching overtime? But like, when they go to extra innings and they, like I said, put the runner on second base. Like, how do you feel about that? I mean, do you think that's going to make it more exciting? Are you curious to see the strategy? Do you think it's going to tank the integrity of the game? Or you're a purist? Like, how do you feel about it?
I think personally for me, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think obviously the goal is to try to speed the game up, because I don't know. I guess people don't like long baseball games. I don't think that. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I mean I can understand the whole thing is about trying to get people to watch baseball, and I know baseball can be a little bit lengthy at times, and even though I can sit there and watch a whole baseball game sober. I know many others cannot do that, so I think this is going to be a way to kind of speed the game up, and I think mainly it's just to speed the game up. It's not necessarily anything else, but it will be interesting to see the strategy put into it.
Okay, and yes, Mr. Football, I said head coach deliberately, because Hector hates it when people say the Astros head coach or whatever.
I feel like that's going to be an ongoing thing for me from here on out.
Oh, it is. You can't like inform anybody of anything because then it becomes a thing. That's the way the internet works, backwards. That's
true. That's very true.
Okay, so also I'm looking at it again. So right now, where the Astros stand, everybody's bounce back. Everybody's healthy. Short season, we know what these guys can do. Are you expecting them to make a return? Deep into or to make a deep playoff run. I know there's certain phrases you're not supposed to say and certain things you're not supposed to say to jinx things I'm learning. But do you expect them to be a threat in the playoffs?
I think so. I mean, the division isn't necessarily difficult yet. I mean, the Angels, they did make some big additions with Anthony Rendon, but aside from that, their pitching is still not at least up to par with the Astros. The Rangers basically gave up their whole outfield for Corey Kluber, so I don't really know if they're really going to be that much of a threat either. And if anybody wants to feel like trolling the Rangers, go ahead and hit up their Twitter account because they posted something very stupid, which was warning to the West, and it was a picture of Corey Kluber, which I found it very comical because I don't know what to be afraid of. And then honestly, the big threat for the Astros this season, and I stand by it, and you guys will probably be more aware of as to why once we drop a video on that, is that honestly our biggest threat is the Oakland Athletics. I think that they're going to be a very grimy team, and I think that this is kind of perfect to what they're doing. And but I think that the Astros are still in a prime position to go ahead and win this division. But obviously they got to handle their business, take it by series by series, and like I said, handle their business.
Now, there was something else I saw going on with the Rangers. Speaking of trolling, apparently, I guess
who's scared of the Rangers? Who's scared of the Rangers?
It's like is this stadium that they have apparently. Is a great value Minute Maid or some sort. What's going on with that? 'Cause I saw a bunch of videos. I saw people posting Oscar the Grouch. I saw him doing like a sardines and things.
The sardine can.
Mm-hmm.
So their new ballpark, which is Global Life Field, literally is exact. If you look inside, it kind of does resemble Minute Maid Park in some way. I don't know. I think the ballpark's kind of ugly looking. It does not look like anything like they drew up when they were showing like. Because I was actually kind of excited because I like looking at new ballparks. I'm a big I'm really into visiting ballparks and all of that. So obviously that was going to be on my list of a ballpark to go visit. But yeah, no, that ballpark is not necessarily aesthetically pleasing. And it sucks because Global Life Park is one of my favorite ballparks that I visited. And I mean, I understand why they decided to make a new ballpark, and it's mainly because of the fact that it gets hot and it's an outdoor stadium, so it's not necessarily like the most fun ballpark to be in. So I could definitely empathize for that, but no, yeah, that ballpark is trash.
Okay. Asmil seems to not be a fan of the
I will still plan on.
So yeah, like I said, I just saw everything. I was like, wow, I guess people are not too happy with this place. I saw, like I saw Oscar the Grouch, the trash can, the sardine cans. I saw like a little garbage dump. There's all kind of little crazy stuff. So I didn't know exactly what was going on. I didn't know if it was a new stadium or what. But
yeah, that's a new stadium. And I think that's the first time I've ever seen Twitter just go ham and roast the stadium.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's the first time I've ever seen anybody roast the stadium before. Yeah, so that was interesting.
The checklist is probably, I think Twitter has officially canceled or roasted every category of thing because the stadium.
I mean, I don't know too much about cancel culture, but for them to just realize that there's a movie with Robert Downey Jr. Playing a dude disguised as dude.
Are you talking about
the whole Tropic Thunder?
Oh,
they're trying to cancel. They're trying to cancel Robert Downey Jr. for Tropic Thunder.
Are we really doing that right now? We're trying to cancel Robert Downey Jr. for Tropic Thunder?
They just realized of Tropic Thunder. That's the thing that I find more amusing is that that movie's been out for how long?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like if you're anywhere, I mean, it has to be the youth trying to cancel everything because that's like a old ass movie. If you're a middle-aged person, you're more than familiar with Tropic Thunder. Like, if you're thinking of blackface, it's probably like the first thing that pops into your head. So if you've canceled everybody else in it now, or just want to cancel it, I don't know.
How do you feel about Tropic Thunder? Like, how do you feel about Robert Downey Jr.
I thought it was
Tropic Thunder?
Hilarious. I'm entertained by the movie. I won't say it was one of my favorite movies. It's a movie I enjoy watching. I've watched it multiple times. I found it to be very entertaining.
I feel like people think that he was playing blackface, but the idea was he was portraying a person that was willing to go blackface for a character.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I have no issue with it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a very creative element that they added. And then we're talking about, you people. What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? That shit was hilarious. But I thought it was fucking funny because they made fun of everybody. Like, all the celebrities poking fun, booty sweat, fucking energy, drink juice shit. Like, it was fucking hilarious. It was a great movie. So, looking at the Astros, looking at what they got going on and how they've improved, they've been able to get healthy. Do you think there are any other teams that, may challenge the Astros that were able to also capitalize on having, significant time off to get healthy, to, get stronger?
I mean, I would have to go ahead and say the Yankees, and obviously, I don't know much about Aaron Judge's situation or any of their players. I know for sure. I believe Severino has Tommy John, so I don't think he's not coming back. But I think obviously the Yankees have. It's not necessarily about health wise, but I know the Yankees have gone all out this season. Obviously, getting Garrett Cole. And then I would also throw in the Dodgers as well because, I mean, once again, they went all out for the season. They're going for broke this year. I mean, so there's no way to say that they're not in discussion for sure. There's a reason why they're the two heavy favorites going into the season, and the Astros are third. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a very interesting season, seeing how it's going to work out with 60 games. But I feel like if people put an asterisk on this championship, it's only going to be on the teams that they despise. So I feel like if the Yankees do win the World Series, there's going to be an asterisk on them. Pretty sure also the Dodgers. And, I mean, obviously the Astros will be having an asterisk as well because obviously everyone hates the Astros right now.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's a beautiful thing. I think they just need to embrace the hate and run with that shit. I think.
Hey man, as long as you embrace being hated on, that's fine with me. Just don't be out there crying and playing the victim. Don't be doing that. I mean, there's no point into it. Why cry? Like if you're crying and trying to get sympathy for what's going on, it's like, you know what it is like for me is if people getting mad about what happened with the Astros and what's going on right now with like the Patriots getting caught cheating and then this whole Yankees thing with the letter. It's like that dude that complains that his girlfriend cheated on him, even though he was the first one that got caught cheating on her.
Yeah.
And it's not like she like walked in and deliberately saw you doing the cheating, and then like a few days later you got like a text message of her saying that she cheated on you, and then you go ballistic about it, and you're just like, I don't think you can really complain about it.
I mean, you got to kind of accept your role in that whole ordeal, but. You know,
like, y'all both hoes.
Yeah, it's just like this. It's crazy. Like I say, you know, because Yankees fans have been relatively quiet since all those allegations started circulating. It's very funny because they were exceptionally vocal about the Astros incident. You know, and so I just find it very amusing that you really haven't seen them in a couple of weeks. So, you know, it is what it is. So were they able to actually keep the thing sealed, or did it actually get leaked out?
I don't know, man. We literally have not heard anything since. So I guess the Yankees found some mafia stuff to keep it quiet. So I don't know what they did, but I mean, no one's talking about it.
Someone said Johnny Manziel just called it a career, but the real question is what career? Yeah, like, oh boy.
Hey man, it's a tough job going to bars and going and banging Abigail Mack. So I mean,
tooted up in the bathroom and shit. You know, yes, it's.
And it's hard to be part of Justin Bieber's entourage, man. It's a tough job.
You expect me to have this kind of energy naturally? No, bro. It's all blow. You know, it's crazy shit. That's why Johnny Manziel's career was just. I don't know. I'm just glad the Texans didn't do it.
Honestly, I would have been ballistic if Johnny Manziel would have been the quarterback for the Texans. I knew so many. I'll tell y'all this: if there's a fan base that I can't stand, and I find this to be ironic because I actually just applied to graduate school for Texas A&M, but I can't stand Aggies. I hate people from Texas A&M. Like, Texas A&M is by far one of the most annoying fan bases. Like, they brag about their school, but their school. Okay, look, College Station sucks. I've been to College Station, and that place is boring. For one, then two, their sports. I mean, like, they were bragging about winning the Belk Bowl. Like, I was just like, what have like. Literally, Texas A&M is the epitome of who gives a fuck at this point. Like, I really don't like Texas A&M, but funny enough, they actually have a pretty good graduate program for me.
I have no comment. Somebody's going to kill you, actually. You can't talk about A&M like that. People are diehard A&M fans. But you're right. You're absolutely right. They are the
and then
the fan base.
They set themselves up. I mean, their logo is literally ATM.
Again.
And I think I'm pretty sure Ray's an Aggies fan. I don't know why they suck, but I mean, all right, cool.
I think we're levying racist allegations against Ray. We assumed the other day that Ray liked NASCAR.
Oh yeah, now Texas A&M is allegedly racist.
But yeah, those things were allegations that come out of A&M for a long time. I remember when I was in school, I had a homeboy, he got recruited or whatever. He was talking about he went there. He said he wasn't comfortable on campus. They had one of them fucking what do they call it? Those fucking affirmative action bake sales. And so they weren't too keen on that. But it's honestly, it's a lot of, I don't know now, it's different. People are way different now. But back then, there used to be a lot of crazy shit going on those campuses. So, I mean, I wouldn't say it was just Aggies. I'm sure it happened in a lot of places. But yeah, they definitely didn't get a very good rep around this part or around certain communities, the Aggies themselves. And Beast Mode, I agree, and that's I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's the perfect segue to start talking about, because I do want to get into the Rockets and their situation. Now, again, I've been ripping and running the last couple of weeks and transitioning and doing all kind of stuff, so I have not been as on point with everything, so some information I may or may not be all the way clued in on. But if I'm not mistaken, they're playing, what is it, like 8 games and then going into the playoffs.
Yep.
And now the Rocket situation.
Basically, what the NBA is doing is they're trying so hard to make sure that they get Zion in the playoffs.
Why? Like a bust a shoe?
I mean, people love Zion. I mean,
I don't know.
It's funny. Like, I look at Zion, and like, if I look at just Zion's face, I know the dude's huge and humongous and all that, but I literally think he's fat. But like, I know he's not.
Oh, Zion's fat. Zion was. I don't know if he's lost weight now, but that was the thing they were talking about him, like, because he came in like way too heavy or something. They were saying, and
honestly, like, when Zion retires, it would not shock me if he gets pretty bloated. Like, I mean, like, he just lets himself go. Like, it wouldn't shock me, because I mean, I'm there with him. But I mean, like,
it would be the modern Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah, that's probably the perfect comparison.
But they were talking about, like, he had to do a bunch of. They were saying some shit, like, I think when he first came in, they had to like teach him how to run, and like they had to like retrain, like, a bunch of stuff. Like, 'cause I know he had a little injury or whatever, but they were saying part of the weight or something was not helping. And I mean, I know for myself, like, I weigh too much right now, so I definitely can tell when you put on when you carry in 20, 30, 40, 50 extra pounds, it doesn't feel too good. So I guess, if you've been kind of bigger, for most of your life, it's worked for you. I guess, having to retrain all that is a weird thing. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not real big on the Zion hype, but I guess it's getting to the point where, LeBron's only got a couple of years left in him, and then he's going to go super Hollywood. You got a few.
I think he already has. I mean, he's doing movies and all that.
Yeah, well, he is. He's definitely fully. He's Hollywood. He's like 95%.
Space Jam, who I still don't know who's in it.
Space. I mean, if they make Space Jam, to be honest, I don't know if I can fuck with it. Like,
I don't know. You know how we've talked about this, like, movies that don't need a sequel.
Yeah.
That's a movie that doesn't need a sequel.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not even the same premise. Like, even at that time, Jordan was still fucking Michael Jordan. And, like, don't get me wrong, LeBron James is really fucking good, but it's not the same. It's like, I guess, he's the best basketball player in the world, use that premise or whatever, but it's just not the same. And then, like, what do? Steal the powers again? I mean, 'cause that's the only way it can work.
Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, so the aliens eventually joined the Looney Tunes world. That's how, at least that's how the movie ended.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Like, the alien that they sent off on the rocket ship, like, he just hovers his way back into Looney Tunes town. Like, I mean,
I don't know.
There's so many plot holes that I feel like there's no way they can. Once again, it's one of those movies that doesn't necessarily need, like. I mean, I can see Space Jam, and I'll watch it. I can watch Space Jam plenty of times, as corny as it is. But I can sit there and I know it ended. It didn't need a sequel or anything like that. Like, I feel like that when I watched John Wick, and now I felt exactly like that when I watched The Equalizer. I was like, these movies do not need sequels.
Oh, well, John Wick is coming. John Wick is
John Wick has a 4th movie coming, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. John Wick is just a crazy deal. But to me, I don't know why I like the John Wick movies. I don't go into John Wick movies with any kind of expectation. Like, I'm just here for the action. I don't want a quality storyline. I don't even want to know why these people are getting killed. Just shoot a lot of people, fuck a lot of people up, make it look cool, throw a cool dog and a cool car in there, and I'm all good. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, I could care less about the rest of the story. But that's only like that with John Wick. Everything else, I'm super picky.
Now when you say it like that, I definitely completely understand it. That, like, okay, yeah. It's just for the action. Yeah, it's like me, man. Like, at this point, I don't want to see another Fast and Furious, but I'm gonna watch it, and it's only because I just like seeing all the action scenes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, see, because I got off the Fast and Furious train early. Like, I think 2. Because I think Tokyo Drift was the 3rd one, right? And so I never watched that one. That's when I was done. I was like, what the fuck is this? I'm not with the shit. Then years later, I found out The Rock is in it, and then somebody else it's turned into a whole other thing, and now they got some side movies, and it's just like
the fact that they have John Cena being Dom's brother. I was just like, they look nothing alike. They have I don't see besides them being just both huge. Aside from that, I don't see anything. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, that's craziness. Say Space Jam 2, aliens steal LeBron's talent, then James Harden and Russell Westbrook come in and save the universe. I'll take it. But speaking about James Harden and Russell Westbrook,
don't forget Kevin Durant's going to join the monster team because he sees that they're winning.
That would be the perfect movie. Then, if that happened, I'd give it 5. I wouldn't care about none of the rest of the movie. Like, if somehow, some way, the monster team would overpower.
The whole time, Kevin Durant is the villain.
Yeah, like if the monster team they're building up looking overpowered, and then just Kevin Durant just pulls a snake move and joins the Monstar team, that would be fucking hilarious. I think that would be a great movie. It'd be one of the best movies of all time. It'd be based on a true story. But fucking James and Russell, and this is what I want to talk about. And this is why I think that this is what really got me thinking about it, and then kind of started thinking about the Astros. I didn't really know about the Astros, of course. And, we'll see what happens with the NFL. I think that's going to be a weird situation, too, as we get closer to that. But I was thinking about the NBA season, and I'm just thinking about James Harden and Russell Westbrook, right? And now Russell, prior to this year, I could give a shit about. And he's a Rocket, so I'm not going to talk down on him, right? Russell was looking a little lead early. I think he started taking fire. He started heating up while I was locked up earlier, and so I didn't really get to see a lot of his best. I read some stuff, and then the Capella trade happened while I was away too, and so I hadn't really had a chance to see the new look Rockets, right? So that's kind of what's been bothering. But I'm excited because here's the thing. We know at this point James Harden is probably one of the greatest offensive talents to ever play the game. It is what it is. But the problem with James has always been playoff time. Oh, he looks gassed. Oh, he's worn out. He's had to carry the team, the whole season. Well, I think a little bit of that was, alleviated with Russell coming over and starting to do, damage. Actually have a teammate, that contributes. I know Gordon had a little bit of an issue, and he was trying to get back right. And so, it's like...
God damn, man.
That's that was a terrible, terrible situation. That motherfucker better change his clothes or something, get some new powers. I can't help him with that.
Man, Esmelt, let me know how hell looks like.
Yeah, that's a terrible, terrible situation. I love the Rockets, right? But these motherfuckers just gonna have to lose if that's the case.
How much you willing to give up for the Rockets?
No, not that much. Okay, again, I'm still sketchy on Westbrook, but the thing what I look forward to with the Rockets, right? You've seen a couple of things happen, and people will say what they want about James. I think James just carries himself a little bit differently. People say, "Oh, he don't got the killer instinct. He don't got this. He don't got that." I think there's a couple of things that happen. One, we can talk about playoff officiating and say, "Oh, well, let's just playoff basketball." Yeah, this is true, but then there are some things that are just ridiculous. And, there's a narrative with James, et cetera, et cetera. If I'm not mistaken, they were showing who had they were talking about most average free throw playoffs, and it was what's his name? Giannis was right there. I think maybe a decimal point or two away. I think under James, and I forgot if it was when LeBron. But again, like I said, it was a couple other names that were ahead of James Harden, but then you don't see that narrative attached to them as far as, they get free throw buckets, they get this, but then, you can sit there and say, we take away the free throws, James is still balling. Oh, well, he's, it's always this excuse, it's this narrative. But anyway, James lost a lot of weight. I think they said he lost about 20 pounds. You see him working out, you see him going hard, you see him putting in work. but he has something he's
Man,
never had.
He looks like he's doing the Creed 2 workout because I mean, obviously, like out there in the desert, like it wouldn't surprise me if he's out there with like a sledgehammer just sanding on the ground.
Yeah, but to me that's intriguing, right? Because you always seen kind of a chubbier James, but he still dominates. He still does what he does. But I'm wondering how much more
maybe it's the fact that he hasn't been in a strip club in so long. Like maybe it's that.
Strip club,
like he's not eating the strip club buffet,
Yeah, he could do it. Yeah, you're not eating that morning buffet. That's just trash. If you're eating at the morning strip club buffet, you got to question some life decisions. Like I don't care how fucking rich you are.
I mean, the fact that you're in a strip club in the morning, there's a lot of things
a
lot of things about yourself you have to question about.
You gotta be like, what's happening right now? But like I said, with him being slim and trim and again, we know that he puts in the work. Like he's had rest, even though he's still been working out. So that day in and day out grind of playing games is not there. 8 games ain't gonna be shit. That's just a warm up. And then going into a season again, like where you're basically fresh. You're fresh, Russell's fresh, and that's the thing. Having Russell Westbrook, something he's never had, that real partner or that other teammate, if necessary, who could take over the game. Because everybody knows you just shut James down, and it is what it is. Chris Paul, during his tenure as a Rocket in the playoffs, was never really that. I think he might have had 1 or 2 games where you felt like that's what you should be doing. But overall, Paul disappointed as a Rocket, and we understand why. So, but now you got a guy who can come in and take over, a guy who is aggressive, who's not afraid to play. And again, his style is perfect for playoff basketball. And again, to compliment James. So I'm really looking forward to see what happens. Again, like I said, James in shape, lows than 20 pounds is going to make you significantly more explosive. Because he was, again, even carrying the weight, he was already, I don't want to say he was faster. He has a manipulative speed. He has a way of, lulling people.
I mean, those Euro steps are about to be a lot more nastier now if he's faster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like, oh yeah, I saw that shit hard in the fucking Lambos with Lil Baby, and he was hanging out with some other rappers. He's like, hey, stop hanging out with them rappers, goddammit. They don't know the strippers that eat hard and shit. Y'all all suffer from the same shit, goddammit. But yeah, he be hanging out with Lil Baby, and that's another little rapper he hang out with all the time. So
I don't know, Honcho. Would you rather him hang out with rappers or the Kardashians?
It's all bad. It's all bad. I don't know, man. I don't know if the Kardashians have any drug habits. I might rather.
I mean, what happened to Odom?
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. So that is true. I'd rather, I guess, have him hang with the rappers, doing whatever those rappers be doing. But yeah, so that's my thing. Like, I'm really anxious to see what the Rockets are going to be doing. I know a lot of people saying, the Clippers, the Lakers. I don't believe in anybody from the East. Like, I don't care. Y'all can't sell me Giannis, because Giannis was a non-factor as long as LeBron was over there. It took LeBron leaving for him to be relevant, and he still couldn't come out of there. So, like, anybody telling me anything about Giannis, kiss my ass. Fuck Giannis. He's trash. Like, I won't say he's trash, but he's just a fucking dunker. You know what I'm saying? That's just really it. And so
I find it so funny because all this attention that Giannis has gotten. This may be a little disrespectful, but I kind of feel like this person also gets labeled as the dunker, which was Blake Griffin.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I don't even think Blake Griffin ever got this much publicity.
No, but it's like, again, I don't know if Blake was ever put in that category. Like, I don't know if anybody put him in the category of, like, talking about him in an MVP conversation. He had some good seasons, but I don't know.
But that's kind of what I'm saying, though. Mm-hmm. Like, you got Giannis, who I feel like Giannis is a good player, and like, I'm not saying that he's not, but the only thing I see that dude do is dunk. Yeah. And at one point, that's all I felt I saw from Blake Griffin. Yeah. And I don't think I have ever seen Blake Griffin in an MVP conversation.
Well, now the later Blake started to develop a little shot. Because I know, but his first year when he first came in, that's all it was. He was just dunking on everything. He was dunking over kids and shit. So yeah, but I definitely agree that to me, like, say, Giannis is like The only reason he's relevant, honestly, is because he's in the East. I think that's the only real difference you got. Like, had you put in, had Blake Griffin had a different situation, the Clippers situation, or you would have put him with, somebody earlier on in his career, then I think maybe you may have that same confidence. Again, like I said, it just depends because it was just all LeBron. We need to find something else to talk about. Like, to me, Giannis is like I won't say he's a media creation. He does what he does, but at the same time, the narrative around him is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So,
I think there's a lot better players in the East that aren't getting as much attention because of Giannis.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I said, now if Giannis had like a shot and added to his game a little bit, like he could be that dude. But I think people like trying to make him that dude. He's just not that guy. Like, and again, like I say, the fact that you couldn't come out the East, y'all gave him all this hype, and he couldn't come out the East after LeBron left. Like, come on, man. Like, really? You know what I'm saying? So he's really to me he's media hype. Like, the East is trash. You have one solid dominant player. You can make noise there, but anytime you see the East face the team in the West, it's not really even close. So, but yeah, like I said, I don't know, man. Like I said, with the Rockets, I think, and again, this would be the year to win it, right? So they can put the asterisks on it. But I think they have a really good chance, and I think people are sleeping on them because I think a rested James Harden is as good as anybody in the league. You're talking about a top 5 player in the league, even though, you'll have people say all kind of retarded stuff for whatever reason. But you're talking about a top 5 guy in the league. You're talking about Russell Westbrook, a top 10 guy in the league. And you're telling me both these guys rested, healthy, and ready to go. And again, you having to keep up with the pace of play. It's going to be tough.
The other thing is you just got to look at that supporting cast that the Rockets have. I mean, like I said, if they're going to commit to small ball, which clearly they did because they got rid of my boy Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yes, they sure did. That's terrible. That upset me. I forgot about that.
Yeah. He's a cool dude, man. Coolest guy. Very cool, chill guy. But yeah, so obviously Isaiah's not there. So they're committed to small ball at this point. I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it. I mean, but I think they do have a very underrated team. I don't think a lot of people are looking at what they have. I mean, obviously, I think Ben McLemore looks a whole lot different from what I remember ever of Ben McLemore. I did remember I used to be really excited about Ben McLemore at one point, and obviously he didn't pan out that well. But I mean, he looks really good with the Rockets as a supporting player. There's Covington, who I think was a really good addition to the team. The team could do something. I mean, obviously they gotta work hard, especially when they do have to deal with a center. But I don't think that there's many, at least, centers to really be concerned about, at least from the West. But I mean, there's a lot of good. I think this team is very good. They have a very good. As long as and I think the part that like you said is unique is the fact that there isn't the pressure of James having to do it all himself. Like, if he ends up kind of being pressured and maybe doesn't live up to that moment, then you have Russell Westbrook. And I mean, these two can really do it. Honestly, I think, Russell Westbrook can really take the game over at one point. But the same thing you can say for James. So, I mean, this is one of those games where you can't focus. This is a team that you can't focus on just one player. Like, you got two monsters on the court, and they're going to make sure they get business done, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they do. And I mean, like I said, they got that great support cast that they have. I mean, you can't forget P.J. Tucker. You can't forget Eric Gordon. So it's going to be really interesting to see what the Rockets do.
Yeah, and I think
who they start off with, too, will be also important with me.
Yeah, I think Eric Gordon is that key because that's something I would like to see a little bit more. But again, he's had his games. But then there's sometimes you kind of like, you feel a little disappointed in Gordon. I would like to see him take over a game in the playoffs because he's capable of doing it. Didn't he have a 50-burger this year? Was it that last year he dropped 50 in the game? But like I said, Gordon has the ability to do it again, when you have two other guys who do require the ball. But I would love to see a game where they all, everybody's kind of flowing, and if all these three of these guys are on point, then I think you can run with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So, But that's the thing, though. That's the good thing about Gordon is, but all this time I said that he can. Hopefully, he'll. I don't know what his full status is. Like I said again, a lot of stuff took place while I was on vacation, and then everything as soon as I got out, fucking shut the fuck down. So there's that.
But I think also because I mean, there's a lot of players that have been stepping out, been opting out of this tournament. Well, not really tournament, just finishing the season. So it's gonna be interesting to see how some of these teams look without certain players.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Like, so would that be a cause for asterisks?
Unfortunately, there is one team that has a very questionable player now, and obviously we're talking about my team, the Lakers, who apparently just acquired J.R. Smith.
Really? LeBron's homeboy. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe he redeems himself for what happened in Game 1 the NBA Finals 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's.
Which I'm still pissed off at that game because I had $70 riding on that game and he ruined it for me.
That's fucked up, man.
Honcho, I had a 3-game parlay going on that game, and all I needed was for the Cleveland Cavs to win Game 1, and I would have been sitting pretty right now.
Yeah.
And no.
He's gonna punch.
Bro, I almost thrown something at the TV. Like, I was so mad.
That's terrible. That's terrible. But here's the deal. It's getting about that time. Y'all make sure, one, that y'all are subscribing. I have the notification. And shout out to Real Talk and 1 second. Harris Beard. And make sure y'all hit the notification button. Like I said, a lot more content. Like there's 5 or 6 videos that are uploaded now. I still got 1 or 2. I think I got one from Tinny, and I think I got one from Persuasion. But there's still a couple more to go. So make sure y'all are subscribed to Saucy Sports TV because there will be a lot more content coming. As these things start to unravel and we find out what's going on in the seasons and things of that nature, like I say, will be a lot more content coming. Like I said, I have some rocket stuff I want to do. Hector has a real interesting video about a team that we haven't talked about or in a while, or if we've talked about them briefly on this channel, but definitely coming out very soon. Y'all should definitely check that out. It's going to be real good. And shout out to Hector for all the work he's been putting in, man. So like I said, definitely going to be a lot more content coming up. But anything you want to say before we get up out of here, Mr. Hector?
I mean, shout out to everybody that's on the chat. I know that we're still trying to grow and definitely get this channel up to where it should be, along with our other channel, Saucy Sports. And I think some people think that this is maybe like not Saucy Sports. I think that's what it is initially, but we'll definitely, all it takes is obviously us putting in more work and obviously providing some consistent content, and then hopefully some other people switch over, also subscribe over here. It's not that hard.
No, it's not. We're going to definitely start a campaign on the main sauce to start getting more, more content over here. But like I said, I think it's going to take just, like I say, the consistency on our behalf, and then the league starting back up. I think those conversations will definitely pick up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely exciting right now. I mean, I'm just happy that there's now some sports going on in the U.S., which even if it's women's soccer, I'm actually really impressed by these women. I've been watching all the games so far, and honestly, it's actually been some pretty good games. So I've actually enjoyed it. But I can't wait to see what the Dynamo end up doing on their. Well, actually, I kind of don't. I'm kind of not excited to see what the Dynamo do, but it'll be interesting. I can't wait for baseball season. Obviously, you guys know I love baseball, and then, I mean, you guys know I'm not a Rockets fan, but still, I still love basketball regardless. So, a chance to watch a good basketball game, that's never something I disagree to.
Already, I absolutely agree. Shout out to all of you wonderful people. Like I said, I know it's been a lot of sketchiness last couple of weeks with the sauce and everything, but everything for the most part is I've fully got everything at the new spot. I still got some things to put up, but we're going to be good to go as far as too many random late afternoon activities. I shouldn't have to deal with that too much anymore. So the consistency will be back. I know some of y'all were upset and disappointed, but like I said, we'll be back on track with that. Sauce Sports Discord will be back on track. Like I said, if y'all had a chance, if you are a member in the Sauce or in the Patreon, I did post a fucking behind the scenes video of the Sauce Sports / Den Show / Honcho Entertainment Studios. So if y'all want to check that out, just a little something. And then outside of that, man, that's it. We'll be back Thursday, 6 p.m. On this channel. So. Yeah, so make sure shout out to Houston, Texas Talk. And I got you on the thing too. You're on the sauce on the recommended channels thing. I gotta update. I gotta finish updating the description.
On the description.
Yeah, I gotta do that too. I got a list. If you look on the video, I got a fucking whiteboard with a list full of shit. I knocked out a bunch of shit today though, but I still got a shit ton more to go. So, but tomorrow we'll be back at it. Also. Gonna be having some little changes, some little things, nothing negative, just changing up the flavor a little bit. Like I said, I've been working on some stuff, so make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. We'll be in the regular sauce tomorrow at 6. Thursday we'll be back here on this channel. Tell a friend, tell your mama, tell your grandma, get some Sauce Sports merch, watch the Dynamo whenever they come back. Go watch all the Hector's Dynamo videos so you know what the fuck is going on when they come back. Like, inform yourself. Don't be late to the fucking party. Like, all the information out. You can go get informed now so that way when the Dynamo season starts back up, y'all know what the fuck is going on, and then you can.
Oh, and definitely go check out our most recent video that we just did where I mentioned some of the Astros draft picks, and they're officially all signed. So
okay. Cool.
So, yes. And we stole someone from New York. We stole a player from New York, and he's now an Astro. So take that, New York.
Already. So definitely, and then we'll have some dropping early tomorrow. We'll get those rest of the thumbnails done. But with that being said, man, hey, Sauce Nation, appreciate each and every single one of y'all, man. We do thank you for being here. We'll be in the den at 9. If you are a part of that community, make sure you join us. We turn up the deuce. Y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But most of all, y'all stay saucy. Until next time, we out.
Perfect.